Vítám tady Evu Holešovou, kolegyni z Vysoké školy Báňské technické univerzity Ostrava, která je zároveň členkou pracuje v rámci iniciativy Eosc.cz ve školícím centru, takže vám nejprve představí aktivity školícího centra Eosc a jaké nabídky můžete využít i pro vaše univerzity. A potom tady máme paní Emu Lacery, která nám představí kompetenční EOSCové centrum Skills for Eosc Project. In English as well. So now we will have a bilingual session. And in the first part, colleague Eva Holešová from Technical University Ostrava will present something about activities of Eosc Training Center, and then will follow a presentation from Emma Lazzeri from the project Skills for Eosc. So thank you so much, and we can start in Czech. Evi, je to tvoje teď. Děkuji moc.
Děkuji moc za slovo. Hezké odpoledne všem. Jak už mě paní Marika Ruba představila, jmenuji se Eva Holešová a působím na Vysoké škole Báňské na IT for Innovations projektu Eosc, konkrétně ve školícím centru. Dnes bych vás ráda provedla našimi činnostmi a vůbec na koho se zaměřujeme a co plánujeme do budoucna. Naší obecnou misí je podpora vědců, které podporujeme v implementaci principu FAIR dat, Research Data Management, rozvíjíme dovednosti a efektivní správu výzkumných dat a samozřejmě propagujeme FAIR principy, které jsou důležité v této oblasti. Naše školení se zaměřují na životní cyklus dat. Obsahově se snažíme tento životní cyklus dat pokryt. To je od plánování sběru dat až po jejich znovu využití. Tímto způsobem zařazujeme a hledáme lektory, kteří by naši vědeckou komunitu, vědce a jakékoliv vědecké pracovníky posunovali dál v jejich činnosti právě práci s daty. Naše skromné statistiky jsou zatím od začátku projektu 34 školení, účastníků bylo 3586 a zapojených zatím bylo 127 institucí. S tím, že naším cílovou skupinou, jak už jsem řekla, jsou výzkumníci, vědci, knihovníci, studenti, IT podpora a další. S tím, že tady tyhle všechny grafy jsou k dohledání, ke zhlédnutí na našich stránkách, kolik vlastně z těchto cílových skupin se zapojilo přímo do našich školení. Taková věc navíc, co jsme udělali minulý rok, byl Den občanské vědy, kdy jsme vlastně tuto oblast Open Science, touto oblastí jsme chtěli oslovit konkrétně žáky, zatím ne učitele, to se chystáme v tomto roce, kdy jsme zapojili 3 projekty, a to monitoring biologických tmavec, senzor vzduchu a Citizen Nature Challenge, s tím, že celkem tato akce měla velký ohlas, takže pomalu, ale jistě dáváme dohromady i ročník, který bude v roce 2026. Zatím jsme pořádali 3 konference, kde jsme měli 356 účastníků a veškeré témata lze zhlédnout na tomto QR kódu. Další konference, která už je za rohem, bude 2. a 3. prosince a tady je QR kód, kde se stále můžete na tuto konferenci registrovat. Bude v Ostravě u nás. Další akcí, kterou chystáme, je webinář, a to 19. listopadu. Bude to webinář online na téma Prepare your team for effective data management a stále je možné se zaregistrovat. Všechna tato školení, i konference, i teďka letní školu pro data stewardy, kterou jsem otevřela, lze zhlédnout na našem YouTube kanále. Ale než vám otevřu odkaz na tento YouTube kanál a všechny zdroje, tak ještě se zmíním o velmi úspěšné akci Letní škola pro data stewardy, kde byly diskutovány mnohé témata v této oblasti a zase, jak jsem už deklarovala, je možné si zhlédnout záznam na tomto QR kódu. A už se dostávám k tomuto slajdu, kde vlastně databáze všech školení jsou na YouTube kanále a na webu. Já vám moc děkuji za pozornost a kdybyste kdokoliv měl jakékoliv témata, které byste chtěli oživit nebo chtěli proškolit na vašich institucích nebo i pro vás, tak kontakty na nás jsou na stránkách www.eosc.cz a moc vám děkuji za pozornost.
Já taky moc děkuji za nabídku služeb a taky můžu potvrdit, že opravdu neváhejte využít služeb školicího centra pro vaše instituce. And now we can move to English presentation. Hello, Emma, again. We are very glad you are here with us today, and you can start with your presentation. Floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me and Sara Di Giorgio to present the project Skills for Eosc. It is a pleasure to be here with you. I have to say that there is, in these days and weeks, we have a lot of movement within the open science community because of the Open Science Week. So I'm very glad to participate, even if I couldn't understand the previous presentations, but from what I saw, everything is very interesting and you're touching a lot of different topics. So my presentation today for you will be to present the key outcomes and the legacy of the project the Skills for Eosc, and it's a competence center network that supports open science training and the Eosc ecosystem in general. So just to introduce the theme, it is very nice to have infrastructures running to support open science services that help researchers and the general public to take advantage of the Eosc and its federation, but we should not forget the fact that we do need the correct skills and the competencies to practice open science, to engage the scientific community and effectively communicate its value and benefits. This is something that comes not only from the Eosc world, but it is recognized also in high-level policy and documentation. One of the most recent is Much More Than a Market, the report that was written by a group of experts in collaboration with Enrico Letta. In this document, they mention a fifth freedom on research, innovation, and education, which encompass policy initiatives, infrastructure enhancement, and collaborative frameworks, as well as a commitment of the policymakers to foster innovation, open science, and digital literacy. In this context and in the broader context of the European Open Science Cloud, one of the tens of projects that have been funded under Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe to concur to the realization of the Eosc is Skills for Eosc. Skills for Eosc is a project that has seen and 46 partners participating from 18 countries. Those were all key doers in open science in their country, region, or domains. The project also involved the work of two S3 research infrastructures, and its budget was 7 million and was run from September 2022 until August this year. So the project just ended. The main goal, the main objective was to advance open science skills by unifying the current training landscape into a common and trusted pan-European ecosystem, closing the three gaps that were identified in the Eosc Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda in 2021 in relation to open science competencies. That were a lack of open science and data expertise, a lack of a clear definition of data professional profiles and corresponding career paths, and the fragmentation in training resources. This was the objective of the project, that also arose from the fact that so many different projects were funded in the last years to support the realization of the European Science Cloud, and all of them had some training activities. But there was not until the start of this project that there hadn't been an effort to align and unify the training landscape. So Skills for Eosc managed to close the gap by empowering the different targets of open science, the different actors that are involved into the realization of the European Open Science Cloud with valuable resources of knowledge and tools through a comprehensive and strong training exercise. So we achieved this by setting up a strong network of competence centers. We have heard this competence center concept around different topics, around, for example, the CHIPS Act, as well as around the AI and HPC. This is something very common when you need a point of reference in a community to find and enable key competencies in the practice of something. So we enforced this concept of the competence center within the Eosc community. So the competence centers are, of course, a key reference point to their own community, either country-specific or discipline or thematic specific or even regional community that can find the right competencies associated to their own competence center. What they do, they are based on the competencies that are possessed by people. So usually they gather together experts on specific topics, and they offer services built on the specific competencies that they host. Usually several institutions concur to the realization of the competence center, and those center of reference also offer operational tool services, resources in order to enhance and upskill their community of reference. So Skills for Eosc not only manage to identify and support competence centers in relation to the Eosc in several different countries and regions, but also manage to build a network of competence centers. The aim of the network is to align and coordinate and discuss common topics and issues within the network across countries and also across different disciplines. So the power of this network is that each competence center has a very strong link with their local network, being their professional networks as a data stewardship network or user support network. So the power of these nodes of the Skills for Eosc network is the fact that they are very much integrated within the local community and that they know specifically what the needs of their community are. On the other hand, in order to reach this alignment and coordination effort, Skills for Eosc managed to offer different results and outcomes to its competence centers. So we realized a set of minimum viable skills that were defined for different roles acting in the Eosc context. We will see in a moment what we actually mean by that. We released a Fair by Design handbook and the micro-learning path on GitHub courses and leaflet in order to improve the Fair by Design culture, specifically for the accessibility and reusability of learning materials. We have a shared recognition framework for learning material training, certification, and accreditation with specific guidelines that include how to use open badges and the European Digital Credential Platform to deliver effective trainer certification and accreditation. And then we organized a Train the Trainers program that was tailored to different profiles and research domain, with the aim of spreading the key competencies to a team of trainers within the competence center that can then transfer these skills to their local community. So we have a set of different courses with the self-paced and live sessions, all with learning materials ready to be reused and adopted in other contexts and frameworks. Not only that, but we also worked closely to develop a professional and user support network. So we have released starter kits for the creation of new networks, guidelines also on IT services to foster the collaboration and sharing, sustainability strategies, and we manage to target also science for policy interface roles in order to influence national open science policy for skills by supporting strategic leaders. Last but not least, we realize the Skills for Eosc network, which is now a network and a space for discussing common issues and position the competence center within the Eosc ecosystem. The added value of being a part of the Skills for Eosc network is, of course, being able to reach collaborative solutions and best practices that are commonly used in other countries or in other domain, learn by each other, develop and harmonize certified curricula for diverse open science roles. So not only we target, for example, researchers and data stewards, but also honest brokers and other profiles. The network also gives access to learning materials and training, and it's capable of influencing national open science policies. So the project started by defining key competencies through what we call the minimum viable skill set. Then we moved to design learning paths and related material, all made through the FAIR by design methodology in order to ensure maximum reuse of the outputs of the project. We developed and delivered the training of trainers program to a group of master trainers coming from the different competence centers in our network. And then once we managed to deliver those skills, the master trainers that were then equipped with adequate competencies managed to organize courses to train target roles in their country or community. So we had this hierarchical and step-by-step strategic methodology that allowed us to reach a large number of people with adequate skills. The FAIR by design methodology, I want to spend a few words on that. This is a methodology that was drafted around 7 different steps. It was designed specifically for learning materials, but was also applied to other objects. And this methodology allowed us to realize a material that was really fair by design. We knew exactly how and which element to include, how to share things, to publish them, and to verify them in order for them to be sustainable and fair. Not only this, but as I mentioned before, we realized a set of minimum viable skill set profiles. So we identified different roles in the open science context. Those are people with specific characteristics and working in different contexts, but they all need to practice open science. So we identified those roles. We then identified their missions, the outcomes that these roles have to produce, the activities that they carry out, and we then draw the essential skills that they need in order to integrate open science in their activities. The minimum viable skill set was then used to design the courses. So we managed to identify the skills and then to realize courses that were targeting this specific role, giving them all the competencies that they need in order to practice open science. We have a large range of minimum viable skill set profiles, from civil servant to policymakers, knowledge brokers, scholarly communication specialists, data stewards, legal experts, and different career stages also for researchers. These were organized in a nice set of MVS, each targeting a specific role. You can find them on our website, but of course they are shared also in Zenodo. They are very concrete resources that you can use in order to maximize the work when dealing with training for a specific target. The Fair by Design methodology was, as I said, a key output. We focused for this not only on the learner, but also on the instructor managing to deliver efficient train the trainers path and courses. Speaking again about the network, the Skills for Eosc managed to build a specific registry where we have identified the competence centers in our network, and you can find more information on who the competence centers are and what they do, what is their mission, if they are bottom-up or top-down. They have a bottom-up or top-down approach, and the services that they deliver.
Eva, I'm so sorry, but we are running out of time. So if you can complete your presentation, thank you so much.
I will move to the end. So you can find, of course, all the training courses that we have delivered in our project with the quality assurance framework. I will leave you the link for all the material. I just wanted to mention a few words for what the Skills for Eosc can do to support the Czech community. Of course, if you need to define skills at national level, you can get inspired by the minimum viable skill set and apply that in your country. You can as well familiarize with the Fair by Design methodology for learning material and apply it in your local context, also disciplinary ones. We have seen that your country is making progress in open science, but some challenges still remain in terms of awareness, infrastructure, and policy implementation. So you can definitely make advantage of the results of this project in order to, for example, reach out to policymakers and administrators to enhance the skills related to open science. So this was it. Thank you so much, and apologies for taking a little more of extra time.